The funniest in your house?
Dad.
Your dad? Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Mommy.
That's not right, Decker. I'm the boss. What I say goes, right?
Yeah, Mommy's the boss.
And mommy's the boss.
Aww.
I'm the goodest.
Good.
You're the goodest. You
Also-
are the goodest.
Also known as the best.
I'm the best too.
All right, you ready to go to bed, kiddo? You want to say goodbye to Jen?
Bye-bye. Night-night. Sweet dreams.
Ah. What up, Jen?
Josh, so happy that you could join me. I think we should make this a daily thing, you and me, or at least every other day for sure, because, you know, we're constantly out in the field and sometimes we take it for granted what people ask us. And so earlier today, you and I were having a conversation about foreclosures. Tell me what you were thinking, what we should talk about tonight.
Yeah, no, great point. Great to see you. We should do this more often. So as we talked earlier, I have a lot of clients, obviously, that are sitting back in the market now. And these aren't clients I have, right? We're both really fortunate that our clients that we've worked with in the past, that know us, that really understand us, have a respect with us and allow us to kind of, you know, they can kind of gauge our professionalism on how they want to move forward in their markets. But I have a few clients I just met, right? And I haven't worked with them before. And those clients, we haven't built a rapport, unfortunately. And so they're listening to everything else that they shouldn't be listening to. The media.
Right. Their mamas, cousins, brothers.
Their boyfriend on the couch. I was told the other day, you know, hey, my boyfriend who's sitting on the couch thinks that we don't need to buy right now because the market's going to be flooded with foreclosures and we're simply going to walk down the street, pick the one we want for zero money, and it's going to be all gravy. And so that's a big challenge, is letting people know that what is real, right? What is real?
And
right?
How it works. And if you give me the floor for, like, I don't know, a few seconds, I can explain what happened in the bailout, which was in 2008, and how it affects us today in the allocation and disposition. That's not the right word. I think I said that completely wrong. Disposition of foreclosures and how the banks get rid of them today. Yeah. So in 2008, actually up to that point, you know, my ex-partner and I would list one of the bank's foreclosures, and, you know, the banks would just move through them and sell them quickly. But what happened in 2008 in the bailout, without getting too far into why it all happened and, you know, what caused it all, but what happened was the government did the bailout and they said to the banks, okay, look, we're going to help you out here because the banks weren't lending to each other. We're going to help you out and we're going to pull you out of this. But what we don't want to do anymore is immediately foreclose on people. You need to do loan modifications, and you need to give them the opportunity for short sales. And out of that, the banks ended up not selling primary keyword homes, to the public. They then eventually, you know, I don't know how long it took them to get their stuff together. I know at one point the banks had like 200,000 homes apiece just sitting there gathering HOA fees. But over time, the way they got rid of them is the banks would create large-scale investors, and they would come in and they would buy like a zip code at a time, like 10 houses, 20 houses, or however many are in there. Right, and today, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. They packaged them up to investors. Agreed.
Yeah, and today they do the same thing. They don't usually get 20 at a time, and that could reasonably start happening again. But the whole point of it is to prevent what was happening in 2008, and I'm sure that you remember very well. You know, if you were on, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 Seller Street, and your house was worth $400,000. If somebody did a short sale, or if the bank sold the foreclosure prior to the bailout, it would record at the county, and it would say, everybody on the street has a loan of like 380,000 or whatever it is, and we're going to sell this at their payoff, which is 210. So immediately every house on that street value fell, and that's what caused, well, it's not what caused it, but that's what added to the ginormous mess back then. So out of that, they said, hey, we're not doing that anymore, and we're protecting the value of everybody on the street to prevent another housing crash.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And that's a totally different scenario than what we're facing today, right? So it's just misinformation. Unfortunately, it's misinformation and people getting their information from the wrong sources instead of a professional like you, obviously 20 years in the business, someone like myself who closes a lot of homes, helps a lot of home buyers every year. Those are the people you need to be listening to. And right now, to me, it is the best time to potentially buy because you have less people in the market. You have more people sitting on the sidelines. You know, we always talk about it in our office, right? Wolf eat while the sheep sleep. And it's absolutely true, right? So
absolutely. The rich get richer. Why? Yeah.
Go look at a house this week, and guess what? I'm so sorry to tell you, you have to avoid a bidding war, right? I'm so sorry to tell you that you'll have the opportunity to name your price, name your what you need in the contract, right? A lot better.
But wait, that depends on the price range too in the area. That depends on the price range and the area, because I was out today and I showed 4 houses from 370 to 410 right in there. And it was back-to-back showings, and they are literally not letting anybody else in per day. So the interest rates are still crazy low. They could have a bidding war right now. But back to your point, you're in a much better position right now than we'll probably be in like 30 days. Correct.
And back to the initial point of people, the general public thinking that foreclosures are something they can go out and get. First off, even if a foreclosure comes all the way to the point where it's a secondary home that is being auctioned off to the public,
right?
Sadly, your financed FHA, VA, or conventional loan is probably not going to be the one that qualifies for that. And most of those properties are bought cash in hand.
Right.
So again, even the small number that do trickle into the public view are still not obtainable by the masses.
Right. So just so everybody knows, if a bank is going to release a foreclosure to the general public, they're going to list it most likely. And it has to be a secondary home. So somebody who had a bunch of rentals and they lost their rentals, or, you know, their house in Aspen, or it has to be, it had to be the jumbo loans scenarios. So generally we were talking 600,000 and up, and that doesn't usually qualify for the FHA, the VA anyways. So,
right. And the bank's also going to be looking for the easiest possible solution to moving the property. And that's typically going to be a cash buyer over someone that has to deal with appraisal, financing, all the other things we go through on a daily basis with most of our clients. And
here's another point. The bank does an inspection generally on the property. So they have somebody go in, they may not do a full-blown inspection, but they're going to go in, they're going to winterize the property. If there's major issues with it, they usually remediate it and fix it. And it may not be like perfect, move-in ready when a bank takes it, but they are going to price that home at market value. They are not going to just sell it to you for, you know, what they bought it back for, which may be $100 more than, you know, the initial loan balance. They're going to sell it at market value. So even if you found a foreclosure, generally you're not, you know, saving anything. You might just be searching for a problem. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It really should be a non-conversation for the average home buyer. For someone that's looking for a primary residence, it's a non-starter. The conversation shouldn't be taking place, but it is. And I'm glad you're addressing that. The other thing is people that are looking at that road are talking about in a year, in 2 years. We know in Denver, our median home price is fairly high, and that price is only climbing. And even currently, during this tough time we're all going through, prices are continuing to climb.
Absolutely.
So You've waited 2 years. You've paid rent for 2 more years, money you'll never see again. Now you're going to buy a house that's going to cost 5 or 10% higher more than it would have today.
Right.
And for what? You could have already built in that equity, saved the wasted rent payments, and already had the home you want now.
Yeah, because on average, we appreciate in Denver, on average, like a 10-year average, you can even do 15 years if you want. I promise you that the average is close to 6% across the board for Denver. And it's a very lucrative and stable market, I think, to invest in. And, you know, one of my thoughts on that is, you know, let's say you did buy right now today, and you bought a 400,000 or 450, and the market took an initial hit of, I don't know, 5%, right? Hey, Decker.
She's back. She wants to learn all the foreclosures.
That's our MVP right there. Most valuable player on Team Sells is Decker.
Can you tell all the people that are watching who the boss of this house is? Who's the boss?
I'm a pea and mama.
All right. I gotta say good night. Good night. I love you. Say good night, Jen.
Good night.
Bye, kiddo.
Anyway, so back to my point. Let's just say that you purchased a property of $450,000 today, and you got this great, fabulous interest rate. I'm not going to go into interest rates right now because they're a little volatile, but under 4%, which is still a miraculous thing, right?
Yeah.
So you get in under 4%, you buy this house for $450,000, and we have an initial hit, which I don't think we're actually going to have. We might a little bit. Of like 3 months where maybe we go down in value, I don't know, 3 to 5%. So $4,500 is 1%. So times that times 5, so 25 grand. So it goes down 25 grand. Well, if you wait, right, and you decide to buy like in August, which I think is going to be our high point this year. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think that August is going to be a great time to buy and sell here in Denver. But let's say that you buy the same house for, I don't know, $430, if you even can, because I think it's going to go back into bidding war and the prices are going to come right back. But let's say you buy it at $430, but the interest rate is 5.5, and I hear there's some major changes coming in the lending world. Like what I had a call today with one of my lenders that said, you know, some of the big banks, and I won't say which one, they're not accepting any loans under 680 credit scores, right?
Right.
They're not accepting, it's a temporary hold on buyer-assisted loans. So I would say get in now, find a lender that doesn't have a hold on it, and make it happen. Because at 5.5%, your payment is higher than at whatever percentage it is today at a higher purchase price.
I totally agree. And I think that's going to be a trend. And I think that this is always what, you know, unfortunately, as a society, we do, right? We do the opposite. We buy high and sell low. And then we always say, oh, I wish I could have gotten that. Or, I should have taken a chance on Amazon at $3.18. But that's why you have to have a professional and expert in your corner and help drive you and direct you to make the best financial decisions for your life. We are in the middle of why I'm in this makeshift office I'm in is we're doing rehab on our house right now. We're remodeling the house right now to sell, and we're buying our dream home in June. This is the perfect time for sellers and buyers. Sellers are still going to get their price, and buyers are going to be able to get in without competing as much as they've had to in the past, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a great time to do it. And yeah, we're absolutely going through the remodel and selling this house and moving into our final home, you know, at least until the little one is a little older and moves out. But no, I'm really excited for our clients that already are in the know, because we've kept them in the know about the value. And smart money on the street right now is out there buying homes. People that are in the know, that have been educated, are still out buying houses. But I'm glad we touched on the foreclosure thing, because I think it's just such an unreal, you know, it's just a unicorn. It's not real. It's not real to the average person. and I have an FHA buyer who I love, and they're telling me, well, I'm going to buy a foreclosure, and just not going to happen, right?
Yeah, not unless, you know, you're gonna get a secondary home that was a rental. It's probably beat, you know, severely up, and it's gonna cost you an additional $50,000. And, you know, when we're talking about that anyways, well, like to your point earlier, FHA, VA, USDA, all those loans, sometimes they are not allowed to even buy a foreclosure, right? They're not allowed to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Cool. I'm glad we discussed that. And I've been hearing a lot about it, and we've been talking a lot about it. So good to just get good information out there. But obviously, always give you a call or give me a call, and we'll walk you through the real, the realities of what the market's doing.
right. So thanks you guys for stopping in. Of course, this video is going to be here, and I'm also going to share it with Josh onto Josh's page, probably be on our YouTube. What I want to talk about tomorrow, Josh, with you is, and I don't want to go into it right now because it's a really big subject. I want to talk about how the iBuyer programs are canceling offers and they are not moving forward. So I want to discuss what we as a team are going to do for these people.
Yeah, this is big news tomorrow. Tune in. It's such a shame. We've been telling our clients forever, like, you're just leaving so much money on the table. This isn't the right process for you. Thank goodness the people that we talk to let us market it properly, and they're blown away at the results and the equity they actually save of not going with an iBuyer solution. But there's a lot of people we don't get a chance to talk to, and they're currently in a scenario now where these iBuyers are not going to follow through with the contract that they signed. And people are losing their next home over it or don't know how to maintain this house. It's a real problem. So I'm excited to talk to you about that tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for staying.
It's late, Jen.
Oh, it's been a long day. Anyways.
Is this cup big enough?
Nope.
Bigger?
Gotta be big. Go big or go home, babe.
Tomorrow. I'll be bigger.
Okay. So tomorrow night, because tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I have 4 agents from across the country. One is in Boise, one is in California. I have one in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I can't remember who the other one is. Oh, maybe Wyoming.
Either way, it's important. Either way, he's just as important as the others.
Oh, they're all important. But what's really cool about these 10 o'clocks that I'm doing, especially tomorrow, because it's real estate across the nation, and just talking about how all the different markets are the same and they're also different, and what agents are doing out there. I love this group of people that I talk to. I have about 25 to 35 agents that I talk to every week about market trends and what everybody's doing to stay ahead of the game. And that's what sets, us, you and I, Josh, apart from many of the other brokers in town. I have my pulse on social media and marketing, and you, my God, you are an insane negotiator. So y'all tune in tomorrow with Josh and I tomorrow afternoon and in the morning. If you happen to be available, catch me in the morning talking to these brokers nationwide.
Thanks, Jen. Be safe out there.
Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye.